Okie dokie. Hello everybody, Jack Plays here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today is my new Fredbear's Springlock Suits theory video. So yeah, this is something new, and I'm really excited. I've never done a theory video here on the channel, but yeah, here we are. We're doing a theory video. Yeah. This is in relation to MatPat. Like, I'm not like doing any kind of collab with him. I'm just since he's retiring in 6 days, maybe 5 days by the time this video comes out. I don't know. But it's, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna miss MatPat. I'm glad he's gonna be able to spend more time with his family and stuff. It's gonna be great. But anyway, on to the theory. So I just want to like explain some things in the game. Let's go for some of the older strange things. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just go through the secrets in the game. Oh, quick content warning. This theory does include some sensitive and violent topics, so if you do not want to, if you don't like, if you're sensitive to, if you're easily sensitive to stuff, like, this video will contain sensitive topics, okay? Just sensitive, violent topics. This video will contain them, so, yeah. If you do not want to hear about that or see that, I highly advise clicking off this video. Also, if you are like around under like 13 years old or something, like, I advise clicking off this video, but I can't control you though. So yeah. Anyway, let's just go through the secrets and I'll do my best to explain them. Okay? So yeah. The first little kind of a secret, I guess. Oh, it's raining. Is this wall. You can see it doesn't really match with kind of the striped design of the rest of the walls, and you can see it's kind of cracked. If you grab the sledgehammer from the storage room, pop, you can find this blocked off room with Spring Foxy and Withered Spring Bonnie and Withered Fredbear. So, yeah. Well, my explanation for this would be that this is just, like, kind of a, like a safe room situation. Like this is, like, some, like, safe room or something. And then they just decided to take the older animatronics here and, like, they just blocked it off. Kind of what they did in the actual official FNAF timeline with, like, blocking off the safe rooms and stuff. So, yeah. And then, let's see. The next kind of a secret is here in the arcade. If you run straight into that arcade cabinet, you can go here, and if you've played through FNAF 3, you will probably recognize this place. This is the room from the Springlock minigame in FNAF at the end of FNAF 3, and here you have 8-bit Spring Bonnie and 8-bit Fredbear. Yeah. So, yeah. And then So my explanation for this actually goes deeper into another secret, being the old man, the underneath 4, or the old man consequences lake. See, when you talk to old man consequences in the underneath 4, he will say that he'll say like you've gone too deep into the code, and like there's no way out. And when he says going too far beneath the code really sets off some alarms that kind of makes me think this might be like some sort of simulation. This might not actually be real. This might be some sort of like metaverse, like simulation thing. And yeah. But some other things in that I'll talk about in this video do make it seem like this is the real world. So yeah, it's pretty strange, but how you actually get to the underneath, you have to click on this glitching tree. So I feel like this is a game. And I feel like this is a game. Really? Maybe we're like stuck in this simulation and we actually have no idea that we're in a simulation. That's another way you could interpret it. That might explain why our response to Old Man Consequences basically breaking the fourth wall, saying we're in a video game. Our only responses are just ... So yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, yeah. And then, Mendo's Shop. Now, this is a more recent feature coming out Christmas time of 2023, December. See, there's a little detail on Mendo's Shop. Right on the sign there, you can see on the bottom right corner, you can see what looks to be blood. Yeah, blood. So, this is like a suit shop where you put on suits and someone like just got spring locked after putting on a suit. So yeah, that's kind of my explanation for that. And then there's another little thing about, so there's, back in here in the storage room, you can find this phone, which if you click on it, it'll play it'll play that it's raining again. Better not go out there in the Springlock suit. Yeah. If you click on the phone, it'll play the phone guy, Springlock training audio tape from FNAF 3. And then also here you can find a knife. A knife! This could be just like, oh, this is a pizza restaurant. It's just for cutting the pizza. That could be an explanation. Or, since the purple guy is here, maybe there's a murder plot. I don't know, man. But another secret here is here, if you go out into the back, next to the dumpsters, you can find this old spring bonnet suit. Now, I'm not going to spring lock in it because I think it's just too gruesome for YouTube. Like the video would get taken, would have an even higher chance of getting taken down. Yeah. And then this is just a this is like a little secret, kind of like these photos. I think these are like photos of like the developers, I think. I'm not completely sure. And then there's this Fredbear plush, which I can't click on it and go to the end because apparently the music in that cutscene is copyrighted. So, yeah. Oh, and then there's Rig. Rig exists. He exists behind an invisible wall. Yeah. Now let's go to the Afton family household. Now, man, this is kind of jam-packed with just full of lore. Oh, and then there's also the teleporting Fredbear plush that will just appear in random areas for no clear reason. So let's go to the Afton family house. So you can see here, this is just like a normal house. You got a TV, you got a nice sofa, you got a nice carpet. You got this area, Fredbear IRL, okay. And then we got the crying child's bedroom. We got the plushies. We got Bonnie, Freddy, Chica, Foxy, who is missing his head for some reason. We got a lamp. We got a bed for sleeping in. And then we have a nice grandfather clock. We got this table, some stuff. Here we have Elizabeth's room. We got a painting of a flower, pink bed, a lamp, dresser, some photos. Yeah. This is a pretty normal house. But if you go into this area, bloody Fredbear. So this Fredbear with the bloody mouth tells us that the Bite of 83 is canon in Fredbear Springlock suits. The Fredbear is here. The Bite of 83 is canon. So the Bite of 83 did happen. It did indeed happen. The Bite of 83 happened here. Now we have the Mustard Man. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, dumpster parkour. We have the orange guy. This guy is really shady. Like, this dude, he's shady. Like, he literally just goes ahead and tells us to go break into a closed-off pizzeria, aka Junior's, which is basically Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, I guess. Now, before we go to Junior's, let's do some stuff in Afton Robotics. So here we are in Afton Robotics. Now, there was a Valentine's event, and like right over around here, there was a heart, and you would get the Black Heart Spring Bonnie badge into the suit. So, yeah. Now, here we have the sister location Springlock suit, which is interesting. And this basically tells us sister location is canon. Sister location is at least in some way canon to Fredbear's Springlock suits. And then we have this completely unexplained, strange Fredbear suit just called a suit. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So, yeah. And then, so my explanation for the sister location suit being here is that I guess this means sister location is canon to Fredbear Springlock suit. Now that suit, I just don't have an explanation for. Like there was nothing in the catalog, in the game's description talking about it. and it just appeared on a random day. It was really, really random. So yeah, I don't really have an explanation for the suit. But actually, I just thought of this. It might have something to do. It just might have something to do with juniors. Now I'm gonna do juniors. I'm gonna save juniors for like pretty close to the end of the video, because I just want to save juniors for last when it comes to the normal world outside of like the world, except like besides like the place that isn't this place that maybe the real world may still be a simulation. I personally do think it's a simulation, and we're stuck inside of, yeah. And, so, yeah. And then there's another thing. Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about this guy's existence. Stalker. Now, I have an explanation for Stalker, but I'm gonna save it for the juniors section of the video. So here we have this old rusty shack, and if you read this note, it says, "Get ready to move these suits to the new location." Now this was added to the game a while before juniors was added, but the explanation for it does lie inside of juniors. So yeah. So and here we have this animatronic head, which is actually a reference to the developer for Logical 448, one of their other games. It was like, I think it was called Brandy's Roleplay, I think. Like, yeah. So, yeah. This is just a reference to one of the developer's other games. Yeah. And then here we have Brow Bear, which is actually a reference to FNAF World. Brow Bear was one of the bosses in FNAF World. And we also have Golden Freddy himself. Now, sometimes Golden Freddy can turn into Shadow Freddy. There's like a 1 in 100 chance. Then, yeah. So, Shadow Freddy, my explanation is like, this is just like, kind of like a similar explanation to what I have for FNAF with the Shadow animatronic, Shadow Bonnie, and Shadow Freddy. They both, I think, Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie are just both like agony representations of, like, they're like agony creatures made from the agony of people, of employees at Fredbear's who got spring locked. I think that's what Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie are. So yeah. Now, man. Okay, we're finally here, the juniors section of the video. Now, this is where it gets really, really dark and pretty disturbing. Yeah. So, what I think is that, so this will make sense once I tell you my theory on juniors, but I think the mustard man, yellow guy, whatever you want to call him, the mustard man. I call him the mustard man because it's kind of funny. I think he is the good guy. I don't think this guy is some shady dude breaking the law just because, or for some sort of personal greedy gain. I think this guy is the good guy. I think he's trying to, I think he's the good guy here. And, now, Mustard Man being the good guy will make a lot more sense once I tell you my juniors theory. Now, we'll have to go through a series of sticky notes left inside of juniors. So, for some time, when the juniors location was first added, the green guy was blocking the only entrance. And, yeah. But then, in one update, he just decided to fall asleep and leave the door open. So, yeah. Now we can hop on into juniors. Now, so the sticky note says, Boss told us to get ready to tear this place to the ground. Said he didn't want to create Freddy and Friends anymore because Fredbear's is such a hit. Now, this tells us that juniors, at least in this version of FNAF's timeline, is Freddy's. And so, yeah. Then the next sticky note says, we are gonna move the animatronics once we get the chance. Now this explains that Rusty chef from earlier. This explains that. This basically tells us that those animatronics are some of the animatronics from Juniors. Now, see, if we look here, we can see it's a Freddy Springlock suit. Now, why is this not there? Well, let's read this little note. In memory of Bill, the best coworker. So this tells us this guy named Bill was an employee here at Juniors or Freddy's. Final words. Man, I sure hope the Springlock doesn't go off. Now, man, this very much implies that this guy got Springlock. Now, we see what seems to be Bill inside of a Freddy Springlock suit. And if you notice the position of his arms, it looks very similar to Stalker. Now, just hold on a sec. Oh, wait, I forgot to grab the crowbar. Dang it. Well, man. So you see, his arms are in a very similar position, in like pretty much the exact position of Stalker. So yeah, this ties into my theory that well, I'll get to it later. So let me grab the crowbar so I can open up the boarded up door and to show you something that likely implies something extremely gruesome and just straight up messed up, man. So, yeah. So, I think that they're not tearing Juniors to the ground because Fredbear's is such a big hit. I think they created Fredbear's as a new location to have an excuse to tear this place to the ground so they can cover something up. And I'm gonna show you what it is. So if we go into this boarded off room, we can see blood. Blood on the ground, and yeah. And we see the yellow cupcake from FNAF 3, which is interesting. And then we see this bloody Freddy Springlock suit. And if we look inside of it, it looks like something was taken out of it. I think you can kind of see where I'm going. And then this bag that Mustard Man wants you to give to him to get the dealing badge. So, yeah, it has a little bit of blood on it. If you look closely, it has a little blood on it. And it looks like something was removed from this Freddy Springlock suit. And then we know that someone got Springlocked in a Fredbear Springlock suit, a.k.a. Bill. I think I know why they don't have this Freddy Springlock suit at that rusty old shack. Cause it's bloody and it's associated with someone's death. The death of Bill. Yeah. So, yeah. The bag, I think what's in this bag is Bill's dead body. Yeah, I know that's extremely messed up, but I'm not saying like this just because, like, this is what the evidence has brought me to, that the Fazbear Entertainment, or whatever company that runs Juniors and Fredbears, they're trying to cover up the death of Bill. Yeah. But still, is Bill really dead? Or did he escape this game? Or whatever it is? Yeah. Oh, and from the Halloween update, we know that these houses do have people that live in them. Since part of getting the Halloween update badge is literally going door to door and just trick-or-treating. I mean, it's a cool Halloween event, but it also tells us there are actual people living in these houses. So, yeah. Now, this really makes it feel a lot more logical to think that the Mustard Man is indeed the good guy. He's trying to get the bag as evidence to tell the police that Fazbear Entertainment is trying to cover up a death of an employee. Okay, now we get to the stuff where it's difficult to explain it, but I will do my best to. So, let's go to the flip side. Now, as you can see, this is an interesting little, this is an interesting area. So, yeah. The flip side is basically a place that's flipped upside down. And then here we have Rig, who does nothing, and the puppet indeed. So, yeah. And then, yeah, this is really interesting. So, yeah. And then, yeah. Now, there isn't much here. I think this is like some sort of area. This is like some sort of place that the flip side is like was like a testing place for the simulation that we're in. And I think the same for all the underneath. Or possibly the underneath are actually none other than like a safe haven created by someone here that indeed is Old Man Consequences. I think Old Man Consequences is also just, I think Old Man Consequences worked on this game. Now, real quick, I'm gonna explain the test place. So the test place is a strange area that you can get to through the underneath one. And, yeah. See, I think that the test place doesn't have any lore relevance. I think it's just somewhere for the developer, Logical 448, to experiment with new ideas for like Fredbear Springlock Suits remake or new updates. Yeah. So I think the underneaths are meant to be a maze to avoid anyone from getting to Old Man Consequences. Because I think that Old Man Consequences isn't where he is by choice. I think the company that made this game, having everyone trapped inside of it, I think they know that Old Man Consequences, or whoever he really is, knew too much, and they knew he would leak all the information to everyone. So they put him in the underneath for an area which he cannot escape, as a jail cell for him. So yeah. They made it so they attempted to make it so that no one would get there to Old Man Consequences and find him. They made it like a maze, in which it is extremely difficult to figure out where goes where. So if you choose the wrong area to go to, you'll be sent back to where you started. So yeah. That's what I think the underneath is. And then, yeah, here we have the underneath 4. The place in which you cannot escape, and a theoretical jail cell for Old Man Consequences. Now, nothing actually happens if you drown yourself in the lake, which I actually thought would give you some sort of other secret badge. Like, because of how you could get, like, a secret ending and ultimate custom night by drowning yourself in the lake, and the secret Old Man Consequences cutscene you can unlock. But, yeah, that's not the case here. Okay, so I'm sorry to say that you have gone too deep into the code. There's no way back out. My name is Old Man Consequences. Come have a seat, and let's fish for a while. You have nowhere else to go. Yeah, yes, indeed. We have nowhere else to go. And this is what I believe is the story of Fredbear Springlock Suits is. Now let me just give you a quick rundown of kind of what I think the timeline of events is. So first in the timeline, I think, is what I think is first in the timeline is the opening of Juniors or Freddy's. I think this comes first in the timeline because I think Fredbear's was made after the Springlock incident with Bill I think Fredbear's was made after the Springlock incident with Bill, who at Juniors as an excuse for Fazbear Entertainment to get rid of Juniors. And then I think next in the timeline is Bill getting Springlocked. So yeah. Now, I completely forgot. I think that Stalker is an agony creature of Bill. Possibly. Or they could be people who escaped the, digital realm. I'm not making an Amazing Digital Circus reference at all. Trust me. Just, I think, because, the Shadow animatronics and Stalker, they're, black. They're black, shadowy beings. And I feel like these are null files. Just shells of something that used to be there. I think these are, people who might have escaped. Or they're agony creatures. If you don't believe this is the Fredbear Springlock suits, this is a simulation theory. So, yeah. And then, I think, next in the timeline is Fazbear Entertainment, or whoever runs this place, they try to cover up the death by bagging up the body and hiding it in Junior's, and then tearing it down, making the new location, and then then moving the animatronic, some of the animatronics to the new location and stuff. Well, and then before that all, there's of course the whole making the game being created, everyone being taken into it, and then Old Man Consequences being trapped underneath 4. Then the whole stuff with Juniors and yeah. And then after they try to cover it up, the Mustard Man, yellow guy, whatever you want to call him, Mustard Man, figures out, and then I think this is a bit of a stretch. Not just a bit of a stretch, this is a very much a big stretch, but I think that yellow guy, Mustard Man, whatever you want to call him, I call him Mustard Man, and purple guy are working together, but purple guy is a traitor, and that's why the knife item exists, because purple guy plans to backstab Mustard Man, literally. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I think that then next in the timeline would be Fredbear's having a safe room that ends up being boarded up. I don't really have an explanation on why they boarded it up, but yeah, may have been that it may actually be that Spring Foxy and the damaged Fredbear and Spring Bonnie are animatronics from Juniors, and that might be what they're doing with the animatronics when they take them to the new location, aka Fredbear's. They might just put them in the safe room, and they block it up, and they make it intentionally pretty weak, and leave a sledgehammer in the storage room for when they get new shipments of animatronics that they need to put in the back. So, yeah. And then that's really what I think the timeline is. So I'm not sure on what Fredbear Springlock Suits remake will bring to the table, or new updates for the game. I know that updates have been slowing down as Logical shifts focus to Fredbear's Springlock Suits remake, the remake of the game. Still in development, but I am really excited. I think that the test play, the dead guy, purple guy, Spring Bonnie suit thing, in the test place is like Logical working on some higher quality models for Fredbear's Springlock Suits remake, which I'm higher quality models or not, I'm still really excited for Fredbear's Springlock Suits remake. And well, yeah, Fredbear's Springlock Suits remake might just be a basic remake of the game, just like having the game just up with updated graphics, maybe some newer stuff, more updates, more badges, maybe. Yeah, maybe more bug fixes, and then, or it might completely be like a new game. It might be like a new chapter for her Fredbear's Springlock Suits. Either one of those works. I'm still really excited for it, no matter what. And, before you click off the video, I do want to tell you that we're getting really close to 55 subscribers. We only got 6 subscribers left. So, yeah. Hit that subscribe button, please. Like, once I hit 55 subscribers, man, I'm gonna stream the heck out of FNAF Help Wanted 1. And that'll be like the part 2 to how to get all the coins in Fredbear's Springlock Suits. I mean, FNAF Help Wanted 1. I don't have Help Wanted 2 because I'm too broke to afford a VR headset. Yeah. Yeah, I use a Switch for Help Wanted. Yeah. 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 So, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.